I'm Liz Coley, and welcome back to Undercover Reading. We are going to read the last section of Chapter 2 of The Captain's Kid right now. Soaking wet, Karthik walked into our now shared room to find me dressed and ready. "Looking good," he commented. "What did I tell you?" He tossed my watch comm at me. "You left this down at the pool. Who was that new kid you were talking to?" "Mo?" "No, I know Mo. The other one, who is even shorter than me. I like to hang with people like that." He stretched on toes and puffed out his chest. I had to laugh. "You look like a penguin." "Penguin thinks a bunch." "That was Khan. I'll introduce you at dinner," I said. "I promised Khan that you take both of us on so we don't make total noobish fools of ourselves on board." "Excellent. What about for the next 12 hours? "No promises." "Okay, I will take a lightning shower and off we'll go." "Lightning?" I asked. He laughed. "It's a weather phenomenon. Static discharge, very fast." "Shocking," I said. While I waited, a new melody I'd been working on brain-wormed through my head. Too bad I already luggage-checked my Mandalute. My fingers itched. Karthik exited the bathroom gleaming, in his best clothes, like 1,000 silver sols. "To the feast!" he exclaimed. I'll second that. I tugged my new torso-hugging shirt, feeling like a half-copper coin next to him. But Audrey hadn't mentioned him in her messages at all. And if half of what Audrey had texted to Sherry about me was true, I'd get to dance with her before the night was done. There wasn't a word for my terrified excitement. The hotel restaurant was on the very top level, 40 stories high. A 360 of floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the port city. The ground vibrated and slid out from under me when I stepped off of the elevator, and I realized the whole restaurant was rotating on an axis around the elevator shaft. As I watched the scenic sunset view glide past the windows, Karthik grabbed my arm. "What's up, mate?" I asked. "Oh," he moaned softly and squeezed his eyes shut. "Brandon, tell me, is it only me or is the world spinning?" I laughed. "It's just the..." "Hold on, are you serious?" He squinted through one eye at me. "I am serious. Seriously queasy." "From this? I've heard of cart sickness and space sickness, but yes, I have those too. Apparently I also suffer from rotating restaurants in the sky sickness." He wrapped his arms around his stomach. He had it bad. "Close your eyes. I'll find us a table where you can't see the windows. You'll be fine." No problem," he said weakly. I scouted for an inner table and pushed Karthik into a seat with his back to a decorated pillar blocking the view. "There." He opened his eyes. "Better, I think. But my brain still knows it's moving." Khan's familiar scratchy low voice called out. "Brandon, there you are. What are you guys doing over here in the dark corner? You can't see the city lights. Isn't this the greatest place ever? I can't wait to order. Do you have menus yet?" "You found clothes," I commented, neutrally enough, I hoped. That outfit was like nothing I'd ever seen. Thigh-flared dark green trousers and a gold shirt with cut-out shoulders. That might make sense for a bulkier person. "Sherry helped me out," Khan said. She hadn't done Khan any favors. I smiled. "Khan, this is Karthik. Khan Lu." Karthik lit up slightly. "That's an unusual first name. May I ask what it is short for?" "You may ask, but I won't tell," Khan said. Karthik perked up even more and fingered his imaginary beard. "Ah, a mystery. What fun. Is it Connor?" "Nope." "Constantine?" "Nope." I offered. "Conan? Conrad? Conquistador?" "Nope, and you've got to be kidding." "You're not going to tell us, are you?" I said. Khan smiled wickedly. "Nope." Karthik raised his eyebrows at me. "Very well, but don't for a moment consider the matter closed." Khan raised the menu between us, and I thought I heard a giggle. "Look at these choices." I opened the special menu and read aloud. Bon Voyage veal with farewell fruit compote, blast-off bourguignon with send-off salad, departure dilled salmon with leaving lemon sauce, and for the vegetarians, Exodus egg soufflé. "Is it always like this?" Khan asked. "I'm afraid so," Karthik responded. "I think I'm sticking with the moving on mushroom soup and a buttered roll." Veal for me, I said. I can't believe it. This stuff costs 50 gold sols to the kilogram on Luna, all imported. Our restaurants only serve chicken and fish. Karthik nodded. Enjoy your baby cow. I predict you will soon give up your carnivorous ways on the starship. No chance, I said. Why's that? First of all, Karthik replied, because it is my father's secret plan to convert everyone to vegetarianism with his fabulous, life-affirming recipes. I rolled my eyes at Khan, life-affirming. And second, he continued, you must consider where starship meat comes from. Where? Khan asked. Karthik replied with a mysterious and sinister tilt of his eyebrows. If you don't already know, you most certainly do not want me to tell you. Come on, I pleaded, just tell us. Nope, Karthik teased. I think I will let you work on this puzzle for a little while yourselves. Your first clue is to consider the ratio of meat animal size to rate of reproduction and growth, as well as the impact on a closed environment. Oh, stop. I'm turning vegetarian already, I moaned. Khan clamped a hand over Karthik's mouth. New subject, please. Karthik studied Khan for a moment. When the hand was lowered, he smiled and whispered in Khan's ear. Khan grinned back with a tight nod. What? I asked, feeling a pinch of unreasonable jealousy. I'd found Khan, after all. They already had an inside joke? As the restaurant spun, the streaks of red faded to purple, then black. The large yellow moon came into sight, looming in the sky like a homing beacon. I sent a mental greeting to Aunt Manda. She was probably already missing me. I couldn't wait to surprise her, to tell her about my week on Earth. She would just flip for the fabricator. With the taste of leaving lemon in my mouth, I stretched and smoothed the pair of trousers that fit like they'd been made just for me, which of course they had. Like magic, my fairy godfather Karthik was no longer gray-faced, and now off to the ball. We plunged to the grand ballroom on the first floor. I gathered all my courage. I was going to dance with Audrey if it killed me. I had it on good authority that she'd be waiting for me too. Hers. Music blared as Karthik said, more metallic than melodic. A live band was installed in the back of the room, and the string player's fingers were flying. Amps were concealed along every wall. The floors vibrated with a heavy beat, my knees knocked, catching the rhythm. There they are, Karthik yelled, pointing. Next to the chocolate fountain, of course. A spilling waterfall of recycling dark brown mud tumbled down one wall. Audrey and Sherry danced dangerously close in their new dresses. Something told me they knew there'd be black lights, because their skin-tight knee skirts glowed with purple-white flowers, popping 3D as they grooved. Every few seconds, stage lights swept out across the crowd, backlighting them. Their filmy, flaring tops turned transparent and back again in a flash, leaving only the impression of their silhouettes underneath. I found it hard to breathe. I could have stood and watched all night, but Khan tugged me forward across the room, a room so huge it dwarfed our party. Some of the adults were dancing awkwardly, although most of them clung to the walls and the buffet tables covered with little desserts. Maybe I wouldn't look like such a freak as long as I stood next to one of them. Wait, wait, Karthik demanded. He'd stopped at one of the dessert tables. He handed a plate to each of us. One for Brandon, he said, and one for, he smiled at Khan. You, I suggested. Connolly? Cornwall? Confucius? Khan smiled. Give it up, Brandon. Never. Cornelius? Wait, how about Conway? Conal? Decon? Khan's eyes rolled. Conniving, that's what you are, Karthik exclaimed. He winked and put an arm around Khan's shoulders. Khan grabbed 3 squares of something pink. I love these, try them. Inspiration hit me. Silently practicing my lines, I built a pyramid of these huge red berries on a small plate. Sweets for the sweet. No, too cliché. I thought of your lips when I saw these. Ugh, stupid. I'm very happy to be here with you, Audrey. Ah, hopeless. Maybe I'd just give them to her in respectful silence. I threaded the perilous maze of elbows and knees, eyes on the prize. Just as I reached her, Audrey's arm flung out. I jerked the plate to safety, but 2 berries made a leap for freedom and hit the floor. Hold this, I ordered, and dived to the ground before Audrey could accidentally make jam with her shoes. When I came up with the runaway berries, I had her undivided attention. Her eyes were wide with laughter, and she was biting her lip to hold it in. Blast! I couldn't just put them back on the plate. 30-second rule? I shrugged and stuffed them in my mouth, smooth as usual. A small squirt of juice leaked from the corner. Sherry giggled and pointed to her face. You've got... Karthik slipped a napkin into my hand and made subtle wiping motions. Delicious strawberries, aren't they? But especially with chocolate. Ah, a hint. I could salvage the situation. Audrey, as your hands are now full, please allow me. Taking the topmost berry by the stem, I held it under the flowing waterfall until it was nicely coated with chocolate and pressed it to her lips, which parted willingly. My knees trembled. An alarmed expression filled her eyes. She chewed and with great effort swallowed. You aren't supposed to eat the leaves and stem, she said, but thank you. Blood rushed to my cheeks and ears. Yeah, right, I knew that. Sorry, I wasn't thinking. Mo took the plate from Audrey and handed it back to me. Hang on to this Band-Aid. We've got dancing to do. I started, but Mo had Sherry and Audrey in each hand, and they were moving closer to the band. Why exactly did he get both of them, leaving me, Khan, and Karthik as pathetic singles? I tore the stupid bandage off my forehead, not caring about bruises and scabs. Khan tugged my arm. Ditch that plate. We can group dance. Oh, I didn't know that's how Earthers worked it. How odd. Over here, guys, Karthik called. He followed Mo and the girls. Between the 6 of us, we carved out a clearing for our group. And I don't know what I'd been so worried about, because no one was watching me dance anyway. The girls were just into moving with their eyes closed. Pressure off. I started to relax and bounce like Karthik said, and after a while I moved my feet. Then my arms got into the action. I was dancing. Oh, yes. Without warning, those dreaded words came from the band. Let's slow it down a little. Sherry immediately melted into Mo's arms. Khan and Karthik stood there giving each other awkward glances until Karthik held out a hand and pulled Khan close, perfectly matched for height. Audrey blinked at me with that question in her eyes, like she had at the pool. My mouth went dry, but I put my hands on her tiny waist and she reached up to my shoulders. This is going to kill my neck, she said. I laughed. Probably. Was she angling for a neck rub later? My breath caught. Oh, forget it, she said. This is ridiculous. My feet stopped moving, along with my blood. But then, instead of ditching me for a normal human, Audrey moved closer and rested her head on my chest. Her arms went around my waist. This was definitely an improvement. Scent wafted up from Audrey's hair, night jasmine, just like the flowers in Aunt Manda's tiny garden. I closed my eyes, let the music wash over me, rocked side to side, inhaled the fragrance of home and comfort and love. The best night of my life, I thought. It just can't get any better. And that thought should have tipped me off. It could only get worse. When the song ended, my arms felt a very strong need to stay around her neck. But as the beat picked up, that was out of the question. I pulled back with reluctance and resistance. Ow! Ow! Brandon! Audrey yelped. Her hand flew to her head. Dang, 3 or 4 long blonde strands hung from my wrist where the 2 watch comms had snagged on her hair. Oh, sorry, dang. I peeled off the extra watch comm and handed it to her. This is yours anyway. I should have remembered to give it to you earlier. Then I wouldn't have scalped you with it. Mine? Her forehead creased in confusion. So I did leave it at the pool. I wondered. How did you know it was mine? I improvised. I noticed you didn't have it on when you left. She nodded. Oh, thanks. Then her face grew puzzled again. Wait, you left before me. How could... A sly grin spread over her face. Did you steal it so you would have an excuse? No, I said way too quickly. I'm not a thief. Okay, a hacker maybe, but not a thief. Then I realized what great alibi she'd invented for me, that I just wanted an excuse to see her and return it. Blew that one. I prayed she'd let it go. She was strapping it on and thinking hard, though. So how did you know you'd got mine? It could have been anyone's. It smelled like your amazing perfume, is what I should have said, but my mouth blurted out, your password worked. Her eyes narrowed to steely gray. You don't know my password. Well, as it turns out... No one knows it, she said coldly. Not Sherry or my parents or anyone. Computer Security 101. She backed away a step. Jasmine, 17, I whispered. At the scared look in her eyes, I tried to explain. Security 101 is don't pick something so obvious, so easy to hack. Did I say hack? I meant to say guess. You need to change it to something completely random. Everyone thinks 17 is a random number, but it's the most common. And Jasmine, well, of course, deflecting the blame onto her was not the best idea I ever had. You hacked my comm, Brandon? You got into my private account? You read? Oh, my holy feces! I studied the floor. I couldn't stand that smoky glare. Sorry, I whispered. It was an accident. I didn't mean to. I'd hardly call it an accident, Audrey declared, her cheeks flaming. I believe I'm done dancing with you. She stalked away, her back hard as a closed door in a high wall. Please, Audrey, I'm so sorry, I called after her. Against the crunch of amplified guitars, my voice didn't even carry halfway. That is the end of Chapter 2, folks. So please join me again as we start Chapter 3.